Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. In case you didn't recognise her, that's Freya Allen on the screen. I've never seen anything she's been in. I can't recall ever seen her, but apparently she's been in one of the remakes of Planet of the Apes, and of late she's been in The Witcher 4, which has been absolutely panned. She's about an inch shorter than me, but she's 44 years younger than me, so would I ever go with her? Not a chance. I'm old enough to be her father's older brother, so even to me that does feel too creepy, a man my age going with a girl that age. But there is a thing that's been going around quite lately, and I've been found out about it over the weekend, and that is sugar babies, because I found this. Now, this was done 2016 and almost 10 years ago, and as you can read, it's at the BBC site, and it's 250,000 UK students now using sugar daddies according to an app. Now, I only know of sugar babies via two adult entertainment performers, two women. One is now retired from the adult entertainment business, and she's happily as a sugar baby. The other one, she's still working in the adult entertainment business, and on the escort sites I've seen her entry, and she's advertising for a sugar baby for $20,000 a month. So after I found this, I started having another look around to see what the state of it is in the Western world, and most likely in the US. And I found this. It's Grazia, and this was done on 20th of February 2021. Sugar dating, living the life or living the lie. It's a exploration piece as to the ups and downs of this possible way of life. As you know, women are not dating. The guys just don't want to date them. They don't want to become an escort, i.e. a sex worker. So some of them, in fact a lot of them, are going on this road to get the cash and prizes that they want but they don't want to be married, so they go down this becoming a sugar baby to a guy that's wealthy, and sort of a marriage without a wedding ceremony. Anyway, it says, what drives people to sugar baby and sugar daddies has it all crooked up to be? Hidden in the shadows, online connections is a silent culture phenomenon, a playground where men, after commitment-free relationships, flick through the profiles of young, glamorous women known as sugar babies. Their sugar is expensive and their currency is time. You could say it's like being an escort, but you're charged by the month instead of the hour. It says, mutual benefit arrangements are arguably more the norm in today's world of flexible romance, from 30-year age gaps to swiping right for a date. That's even a conventional relationship these days. Currently 8.7 million sugar babies and 2 million sugar daddies are registered on one online site alone. That site would be in the USA. But the USA isn't the world capital of sugar babies and sugar daddies. That title is currently held by India. And it says, when reading these figures, it feels like this trade is happening everywhere, yet nowhere perhaps part of its appeal. And discretion is contract signed at the moment you upload your profile. The sugar baby wants her integrity, while the sugar daddy may want to keep his marriage. As for safety, from where I gather, speaking to sugar babies, the site is hardly sending out security guards. You base your decision to meet a profile picture, bio, and hope for the best. One girl describes it as Tinder with benefits. And then it goes explanation. And Anna, she's 26, approaching the wall, had a browse on the advice of a friend who recommended finding one or two arrangements to help her with tuition fees, i.e. running up a student debt. And all of those you in America know that girls run up student debts going to college. However, the game became quite addictive. Seems she was a hit. Sugar daddies loved her, and she says it's like living the jet-set lifestyle of an actress without ever setting foot on Broadway. She has currently given up the auditions for handbags. And then there's Danielle, 35, post-war, former sugar baby. She traded sugar for time for 2 years, giving up when she developed a severe drinking problem. That's a red flag. She says, I stopped seeing my friends to cover up my secret life, and despite the men I was dating, I felt so lonely. I don't think I could have put up with them without drinking. In other words, she didn't like them, and she drowned her sorrows in a bottle. And then it goes, more explanations, and it says, as for men, the impact of knowing they're only dating for their wallets must hit them somewhere in the dark to answer whether sugar life is living the life or living the lie. There is no black and white answer. It will remain 50 shades of grey, though it is tempting, addictive and lucrative. Probably like a guy going with an escort if he can afford it. It can also be dangerous, lonely and destructive. Whoever wins, whoever loses, whoever learns, as Daniel told me, you only see the lie when you have left it. Now that's a rundown of what it's about. Having all look around, this is one of the major sugar sites in America. So sugar dating apps, daddy apps are booming in 2025. Here's what's hot in the US dating scene. This was done on June 17th this year. Now, it's an explanation, but for America, if you drop down, user rating of US cities for sugar daddy apps. How sugar daddy apps fare across American metros. Inside data sugar, but sugar dating apps actually work in the US. Blog plus Chicago readers, recent 9 site roundup paints a clear hierarchy. The top one is in New York, the Seeking and Sugar Book. Then Los Angeles, surprise, surprise, SugarDaddy.com, Sugar Book. Then Miami, Chicago, and Austin, the capital of Texas. And then trending sugar daddy apps in USA. Given the steep upward curve, analysis predicts sugar daddy apps will integrate even deeper into the user's financial and social toolkits. So you can expect it to be more sophisticated this year. And more sophisticated next year as it gets more mature and the apps start getting more complicated. Blockchain verification allowances in certain sugar daddy apps providing immunity and cross-border currency flexibility. And then AI-generated data itineraries. They account for budget, diet and privacy constraints. That means you put down filters. Aggregated credit scoring for sugar babes. In other words, the sugar babes get a rating similar to ride-sharing passenger ratings, offering sugar daddies instant trust cues. In other words, if she's unreliable, then her credit sugar rating goes down. And then we get the FAQs. Are sugar babes apps only for young women? No. Many older women and men use these platforms too. It's about confidence and clarity, not just age. In other words, post-war women who can't get a date because guys prefer younger men, they're going down the sugar baby route. Which sugar baby app is most popular in America? Sugar Book Sugarbook and Seeking are top competitors, but Sugarbook is gaining fast due to its verified community and safety features. And then we have links to various things. Also, to support that, I found this that puts a damper on the whole sugar trend. This is Medium, and this was done on July 7th this year. As you can read, how the sugar daddy trend took over the world and why it puts young women everywhere at risk. The dangers of viral hashtags, luxury posts and social pressure, fueling power imbalances. In other words, he's a rich guy and she's just got her youth and beauty. Costly choices and threats to gender independence. Now, if you drop down, this bit was the interesting one. Imagine my shock when my teenage daughter, a girl who proudly calls herself a feminist, joked in front of me about finding a sugar daddy. This is a young woman who talks about pursuing a doctoral degree, building her own business and never depending on anyone for her future. Yet, even she can make the joke. What settled me wasn't the words, but the way she said them, like casual laughter, as if it was a meme, a trend, something everyone around already knew and accepted. Well, if she's a student, then you just drop down to this. That's a stage photo. Leading sugar daddy app says it now almost 250,000 UK girls, students, are on its books seeking financial arrangement. It sees a 40% growth in last year in young women joining. As you know, women want to join the current trend. Now that was 10 years ago. How many of them will already be still on the books is anyone's guess. But anyway, back to that. In many ways she's right. On TikTok alone, hashtags linked to sugar daddy life and sugar dating are racking up. I've not seen that. I only found out about this sugar dating, how big it is, over the weekend. It says in the past such relationships are hidden behind closed doors, a kept mistress, a patron, a benefactor, and carried social stigma, but today sugar arrangements have slipped into popular culture and digital spaces as though they were just another form of dating. So sugar dating is surpassing other forms of dating. And then on social media, hashtag like sugar baby yak yak yak. In 2022, the Insider reported that hashtag sugar baby alone had over 800 million TikTok views, with countless videos offering tips on how to get one or showcasing lavish. And then you got to register to get the full article. So I had a look around, and this is Sugarbook. As you can see, where romance meets finances, build and negotiate terms of relationship. Doesn't say she's a sugar baby, she's just an actress on this loop of the little video, and then it's featured in Business Insider, New York Post, the BBC, NBC, Yahoo, Straits Times, FT, Daily Mail, Vice, and South China Morning Post. No doubt there's a lot of that in Sugar Baby in China. And as it's seen before, that's the app. She's 24, 26, 26, and 21. And then just more advertising to join it. And those are some of the sugar daddies after the sugar babies. And then we have what you say, Matthew is a sugar daddy. I had doubts if this site was really even tried messaging the users to see if they responded, ended up with a decent date 2 weeks later. And she looks post-war. A few of my girls are talking about this in campus, so I decided to give it a go. She looks a bit old to be in university. turned out to be quite interesting, and there are a few things you need to fix. Most of us studying, but we don't have a uni email. Do we still qualify for the premium? Do let me know. And yes, this is my testimonial. Anyway, I had another look around and I found this Chicago Reader, the 10 best sugar daddy websites to find a sugar daddy in 2025 in America. This was done on June 18, 2025. And whether you're new to the world of sugar baby, you've been in the lifestyle for some time, and these are the sites in America. Number 1 is Sugar Daddy, Elite Singles, to meet educated professional sugar daddies. That's for rich guys wanting women who are quite well educated. But this one, it took my eye. Ashley Madison, you're married or seeking someone married. Let's have a look at that. That's yes. Ashley Madison, life is short, have an affair. Millions of people just like him with discreet connections. Doesn't say whether it's a sugar daddy site, more like a conventional dating site. The first married dating website. Probably a site for if you're going to have an affair. In other words, you're being unfaithful. So no thank you. And then My Sugar Daddy, if you're interested in American or European connections, so it's apparently going international. To finish this video off, because I'm thinking getting on the 20-minute mark now, I just did a quick search, sugardaddy.com, for a sugar daddy looking for a sugar baby and Los Angeles. And these are the blurb photos that came up. You notice the age, 36, 33, 31, 35, all post-wall. I clicked on that to have a look, see what her profile was. And she's looking for fun, adventure, and a good time. In other words, she's a good time girl, as they used to say. Next birthday's in March, sugar baby, looking for a 30 to 80-year-old sugar daddy. And gender female, ethnicity other. Didn't know there was an other. Marital, she's single. She's 5'9" and curvy. In other words, she's got put on a bit of weight. She's 36, post-wall. I'm an educated young woman who loves interesting people and beautiful things. I find beauty in everything and believe someone has something unique and special about them and just waiting to be opened up and explored. She's looking for someone who wants to see more of the world. In other words, she wants to travel on his dime. I love to travel, as I said. Love going to exotic, romantic places. I mean, expensive. With that special person. No, they always say person. I love exotic food, so that's an expensive meal. So dinner is always fun over a nice glass of wine. No doubt it's expensive wine. And some delectable treats. And she's looking for some rich old guy who's 30 to 80. But she's 36, post-wall, and she's chubby. So, let's have a look at another one. Tina, petite, Miss Ho, 35, 31, 33. Tracy, let's see, she's 38, way past the wall. Tracy, the siren of your dreams. Maybe. 38, looking for a 30 to 80-year-old sugar daddy, same as the other one. Ethnicity other. Sugar babe 38, she's slim and she's 5'2". So she's small and petite. She's 20, about me, she's 29. She's mixed race. What they used to call a pinky. Pinky, that is. The half-caste, mongrel, pinky, whatever. She is probably half black, half white. 5'2", 110 pounds. Dress 2'4", shoes 7.5. eyes hazel, hair blonde. She loves to explore her passionate side, down to earth and willing to try almost anything once. With the motto, take every opportunity you have to get rich. She's looking for a generous gentleman who loves to learn, laugh and explore his passionate side, with a fun and frisky enjoying, like myself, if you like, adventure-filled dinner dates, in other words, expensive places, private time, travel, shopping, concerts, museums, and even home cooking and a meal and a movie. Let's see if there is chemistry. In other words, she wants a rich guy to treat her to a jet-set lifestyle, but she's 38, even though she's slim, and she's half black, half white, or half Hispanic, half white, and no guy would want to get into a serious relationship with her, because she's 38, post-war. If he wants a family, then he ain't going to get one with Tracy. Anyway, as you can see, women are going on this road to be sugar daddy, for sugar daddies, in other words, getting all the good cash and prizes without the wedding ceremony or the accountability of being a wife. And it's living the life of the lie. This is a cautionary tale, but it's a booming business because there's money to be made out of it, and there's risks, so you got to decide whether you want to go down that road or not. I personally would not at my age, not a chance, even if I was as rich as Musk and Ellison put together. So, but this site is the top one in America, and if you're not or want to try that, there's all the other benefits, other sites for you to pick. But be advised, you could end up with something like that if you chose to go down that road, and otherwise you might end up with a woman like Tracy. In other words, the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence, so it's up to you, but be advised. Cave emptor, as they say. Anyway, I think I'm on the 20-minute mark now. I might have a look around, see if I can find some more on this, but this is the first time I came across this sugar daddy trend, even though I have said there's two, quote, porn stars that I know that have gone down this route, even though other porn stars go down the escort route. But for now, you know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, all that. It's completely up to you. So until next Monday, that's it from me. Bye bye.